Yes. Hi. Hello, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. What? What that way? It ain't like at all. Mm-hmm. Hold on, let me get this together. At all? Oh, okay. I was about to say, hello. I'm about to call my internet company. Like, hello. I have a job to do. Chiz. Got your nerve. Okay. Hi, everyone. Hi. Look at all y'all. Tip West. Oh my God, I love you. Solo to Persuasive. Hi. Alexa, Miss Platinum, Miss Raina, Sheba. This is my nightmare. Um, is it Timber Lim? Oh, I'm saying it right. Good morning. Not the goddess, my baby. Sheree. Hey, Sheree. Nuki. Nuki. Correct. Aisha. Shout out to Falonda. Hey, Falonda, Donna, K. Ben, member. Jen, Esco, yes. Pen Pal. Hey, Nikki Love, LT. Look at all y'all running on up in here. Hi, Ski Lou. Hi, Boo. Miss Richardson, Roxy. Hi, Roxy's Lady Lounge, babes. Love ya. Sweet Baby Yeezus, Truth Hurts. Doctor, yes. I know that's right. Period. Period. White coat, you tried it. Yes. Shout out to I Love Butterflies. She says, good morning, Sexy Shine. Hi. Love you. Yes, very much, Mr. Poppington. Shout out to Tina. And my girl, hi, Gloria. Good morning, everyone. Please hit the like. Please hit the like. Renisha says, Sean, tell me hi. Hi, boo. Hello, sweetie. Christian, K Special, Oakland Nikki. Hi, boo. I love you, all of you. Okay, I love you all. I love you all. Metaphysician, not medical. Same thing. Same thing. I don't care if it's for rocks or if girl. Oh well, doctor means doctor, and people need to put respect on your name, okay? And that's the whole period. Y'all lucky I ain't no doctor. Y'all lucky I don't have no doctorate in nothing, because y'all would absolutely be calling me Dr. Sean, okay? Dr. NaZiyah. Okay, correct. I'd be like, ooh, I can't argue with you. Ooh, I'm a doctor. Oh, I'm a doctor. This is beneath me. Oh, I could be on made to medicine. I don't have time for this. So I'm like, ooh, you're about to argue with me? Oh, ooh, doctor's in front of my name. Ooh. GED? No. High school equivalent? High school diploma? No. I don't. I feel like this conversation is over. I feel like we're done talking. Yeah. The doctor is out. Okay? The doctor's gonna walk away right now. Right? Leave you to whatever this is. So I love you. A police at the line who and not like gross to trans, but just like a man dressed as a man. That is weird. Such a weird question. That is such a weird question. It really is. It's gross. Yeah, I am a boy. Correct. I was supposed to be born a boy. The Lord knew exactly what he was doing, okay? There's nothing about the wrong body that I'm in. Mm-mm. Nails short, not painted, non-manicured, correct, no makeup, woke up like this after the shower. And I'm like, girl, that's just weird. That's weird. There's nothing trans about me, girl. Yeah. You're desperate for trans friends. Okay. Um, have you heard of Haguar Right? Have you heard of Haguar? Have you heard of Haguar? Because you could go over there. Haguar is very so much trans. And there's a lot of trans people that hang out over there. Yeah, since I don't know if you bumped and tripped and skipped over T.S. Madison, and all of those people. But since you don't know who they are, how about you go check out Haguar Right? Very so much trans, absolutely. She is female to male, correct. Um, Yes, she has a fade, all of that stuff. Look just like me, damn near. So, yeah, absolutely. Hi, LaRon. Hi, Joey Beauty. Oh my God, I love you guys. I love you guys. Shout out to Joey Beauty. Y'all make sure y'all get over there and subscribe to my baby, Joey Beauty. I love her, like, to pieces, and she's amazing. And shout out to LaRon Potent Pondering. Y'all get over there and check out Potent Pondering, okay? I love LaRon. They are amazing. They absolutely are, so make sure you get there and check them out. Absolutely. Are you a black gangster? Test it. Test G. Test my G. That's all I can tell you. That ass. That's all I can tell you. Test my G and see. Test my G and see if I'm gangster. You know. Correct. Test my G. On period. Test my G. Yes, there's a lot of zest over here on YouTube, correct, because y'all are basic, okay? Straight men are basic. They absolutely are. They're boring. They're boring. That's over here. See? Because there's plenty of heteros alive, but you're over here with the queer. So, hello, that says more about you than it does me. that says more about you than it does me. Because clearly hetero men are boring as hell. Because you are over here. So, and no, my girl, they born arse is live right now. Bueller. Yeah, y'all tired of that. Y'all need a little zest. And y'all life and my girl. Yes. Okay, Nightmare, please stop talking about trans people. We don't have any trans bathrooms over here or nothing. Okay? So look at here. Go away at this point. Because we can't do nothing for you. Correct. Yes, you are sorry. You came in here sorry. You're going to leave that way too. We can't do nothing for you. We don't really hang with them like that. Okay? We don't be at gay bars and all that. We ain't going to do all that. Okay? So you just go figure that out. Go figure that out, okay? You're an era, though, with the whole trans thing. Like, cut it out. Their bathrooms are getting taken away, and you worried about trying to be friends with them. Go to one of their bathrooms and just hang out, girl. Oh, my goodness. I would love to discuss bottom surgery. What? Moving right along. So, y'all, the title of the show is Please Hit the Like, Please Hit the Like, Please Hit the Like. That's what the title of the show is. The title of the show is Please... Why do y'all... I'm not dragging... Chelsea, ugh. Like, she's still alive? She's still alive? Like, on social media? Like, she's still alive on YouTube? Like, her name still, like, means something? Didn't Tasha throw in the top? Didn't Tasha say, looky here? Didn't Tasha move on? Okay, we don't care. The only way we gonna care is if Tasha care. If Tasha don't count, Chelsea, we don't either. That is her lifeline. That's it, that's all. So it ain't a point of dragging somebody that we done threw away. Okay? Now, did Tasha been the block? Is this something I don't know? Did my mama? Okay? Because what am I dragging her for? Is she like gone? Like, she's still here? She's still around? I know that 5 head is hard to miss. But yeah, if Tasha talk about her, we'll talk about her. Okay? We follow Tasha's lead. We follow Tasha's lead. But if Tasha not studying her, neither is we. Girl, we don't get no unless Tasha do. So Tasha would have to say something about her. Ooh, you're annoying. I don't know. I guess the moderators like you, but I don't. Ooh, you're annoying. Ooh, you're annoying. Not as my mama trans. How I'm born. How I'm born. How could Tasha be trans? Hello? 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 She got 2 sons running around YouTube. Me, Stormisha. Okay? Of course, she has plenty of kids. So, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, what? So, yeah, you got to go. That was cute. You got to move around. No, mother's not trans. That is her middle name. Transrena. You know, that's the only thing trans my mama. It's the only thing that's trans about her. You got your nerve. So, yes. So, ooh, Lord. So, the title of the show, that don't work. The title of the show is NaZiyah's brother, Navir. He does an interview. A new one. And I wanted to discuss it because there was a lot of good points that I feel like we should point out. And also in the title, did Annette date Jarvis? Okay. Now, Jarvis is gross. That's one thing that we do know about him. So we're going to discuss that a little bit. Yes, I feel, because, you know, it was going around at the beginning of the story that came out about NaZiyah, that Jarvis was sleeping with Annette, the mother as well. Now I didn't see nothing factual really about it, so that's why I didn't feed it too much energy because I'm just okay. Well, there's not a really solid source like someone from the family or something like that to state that that happened. So moving right along, like that's how I am. Like let's not feed something. Um, we can't hear you. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Can you guys hear? Can you guys hear it, my girl? Okay. Cammy say yes. So, oh well. Just kidding. Cammy say yeah. Oh, as long as Cammy can hear me, we're good. Just kidding. Love you guys. So y'all always sound good. So with Annette and this whole Jarvis situation, I was like, okay, maybe, right? But then that story came out, with the allegedly, I don't know if it was supposed to be King or if it was supposed to be Jarvis's brother or whomever, and stated the whole situation about Shannon flipping out on NaZiyah, finding out that NaZiyah, I guess, was truly pregnant by Jarvis. No, we don't know that to be true either. We don't know that to be true either. But, it's possible. It's possible. So let's get into these theories. Now, remember, we were just talking about that part. What if Annette felt the same way, like about NaZiyah being pregnant by Jarvis, if she was seeing Jarvis too? I also thought of, okay, I understand that Annette is probably protecting Shannon as well with the whole disappearance of NaZiyah, why a lot of information has not came out. But what if she's not just protecting Jarvis just because of the whole she let NaZiyah go with him, and at times they were seen last together? What if she's protecting Jarvis as well because she was sleeping with him? It's very possible that she was sleeping with Jarvis too, that she fell for Jarvis too. So she's not just protecting Shannon, with this information and protecting Jarvis with certain information, keeping it withheld about NaZiyah, getting on that stand lying, saying that it was only, times that Jarvis was just selected times that he would see her. And the majority of the time when Jarvis came to her home, Annette, that Shannon would go outside and talk to him at the car. Okay. Y'all think it's going in and out? Is it? Hold on one second. Now, is it better now? Is it better now? Alexa says, this still reminds me of the Netflix documentary Abducted in Plain Sight. Very so much. This is a crazy story. It is, but I think that, okay, y'all saying yes. Yes, it's better, or yes, it's still going in and out. Or yes, it's still going in and out. I need to know before we move on, because we got to get it together. It's better, a little choppy. Okay. Better. Okay, it's much better now. Better. I just switched, so sometimes it takes a second to switch over. 2/3 fine. Okay, y'all said better. Sounds perfect on my end. Okay. Sometimes it takes a second for it to click in, but I want to make sure because I don't want to be talking and it's just like, that's annoying. Okay, it's better now. Okay, y'all said it's better. Okay. Good. So, to put this story together and what my theory, well, I'm not just gonna say theory, just with the information that's been put out there, I think that Annette is protecting this not only for those reasons, but also because she was sleeping with him. And I think that that is true because when Jarvis would text Naya, he wouldn't want her grandmother to know that they were meeting up, or he would ask her, or she would ask Jarvis, and it's just like, did you ask her, about him coming to like pick her up and like take her places, or her like leaving her room pretty much at a certain time of night, and Jarvis always made it a point to pull NaZiyah somewhere in that home. So with it happening in that home, I feel like Annette and Shannon definitely knew what was going on with NaZiyah and Jarvis. And I don't think that he was asking permission from Shannon to do, or Annette to do anything with NaZiyah. I think that he kind of had the permission without like a verbal contract, if you will. It was kind of like what's understood don't need to be explained because they knew what was happening. Again, if NaZiyah was pregnant, there was only one person been pregnant by. And with that also being said, I feel that there may have been some jealousy there on Annette's side and more reason for her to want to get rid of the baby too. So, because I was thinking that too, like, okay, I understand why Shannon wanted to get rid of the baby, but I don't understand why Annette, the baby, to go away as well, because Annette knew what was going on. She knew. And if she knew more throughout that day when, Jarvis came back to that home with NaZiyah or however that happened. She knew what she needed to know, and she also knew that NaZiyah was pregnant. So, like, it wasn't just her not, seeing that it's not a good look for a 13-year-old to be pregnant, but she was 11 years old pregnant. So, that's Annette. So, maybe she didn't look at it that way at all, about NaZiyah being 13 and pregnant. It was more so maybe she was jealous that NaZiyah was pregnant by Jarvis because she had feelings for Jarvis too. And some people, again, can have sex and there be no emotion attached. But there's some people that can't have sex without emotion being attached. So I feel that if there was any SEX going on between Jarvis and Annette, I do feel that maybe Annette gained feeling for Jarvis along the way by allowing him to take NaZiyah to the shop and stuff alone and with his daughter. She knew why he wanted to take that with. Not NaZiyah wasn't helpful. Everybody's seen that shop. That shop was filthy. If you are bringing them here to help clean and to help do things, even testimony of Jarvis's sister, she said that NaZiyah pretty much just sat in the car the whole time, in the SUV the whole time. So if she was going there to clean, why wasn't she cleaning? Why wasn't she doing anything that you would be doing if you were being paid, to be there? NaZiyah just sat in the car. That is exactly what Jarvis' sister said. She didn't see anything about NaZiyah sweeping, mopping, throwing old car parts away, nothing about NaZiyah doing any work. She pretty much in the vehicle for hours until they ended up leaving. So that gives a common occurrence. Annette, I don't know about Annette, but I'm assuming, and Shannon especially, have been to that shop. So they knew that the shop wasn't being cleaned, and Shannon, your own daughter, going to that shop too. So if this person that has violated one of their own kids already is taking your daughter to this shop and you're coming to the shame that nothing is being done and you're not questioning what's actually going on with your child, because I believe that one of Jarvis's children, the reason why CPS has taken her kids, Shannon's kids, is because I think that daughter, that set daughter, that he was taken back and forth to the shop with NaZiyah, I think she said something. I do. I think the family and people around her encouraged her enough to come forward and say something because they're all testifying and did. Now, she didn't testify against her father. She did not testify against Jarvis. But I think that's one of the main reasons if CPS came and removed, because you have to think, as soon as NaZiyah went missing, you would have thought that CPS would have been involved immediately and had gotten involved and taken those children once those charges came up, at least that Jarvis had been being sexual with a 13-year-old girl. With NaZiyah, right? Well, technically she's 14. Her birthday was last year. So, but, and they haven't found her, so technically she's 14, but at the time, 13. So, you don't make, I feel like something specific had to have been said to CPS for them to remove Shannon's kids. And I think what that was that daughter, in my opinion, I think that daughter has spoken. It's enough energy around this to make a person feel the need to come forward and feel safe coming forward. And Jarvis is in jail. And I think that all of them fear Jarvis. All of the women fear Jarvis, from Annette on down. All of them fear him. All of them. When he speaks, they listen. Even if they're argumentative with him, they listen because he is technically the man. And the man when it comes to all of them. That's why it's like nonsense that Annette would state that Jarvis only came into the house certain times, a few times. And when he did was more so just to use the restroom. You are lying. Jarvis was the man of that house. He ran that house. Jarvis is disgusting. If he doing what he doing with NaZiyah and then offering her cousin the same thing, and her cousin turning Jarvis down, and she was younger than NaZiyah when that was happening. And then she watched Jarvis S.A. NaZiyah right in front of her and whatnot. What would make me think that there's nothing going on between Jarvis and Annette? Why would I not think that? Sleeping with all of y'all because he is disgusting. Anybody that'll say yes to him, he's going to allow it. That is what it's giving. And he don't have any standard. He does not. He'll go from 100 years old, in my opinion, all the way down to an infant. Infant up is, his criteria. It's how I feel. And I also believe that Jarvis feels like having sex with women is a way of control, is a way of controlling them. So in order for him to control Annette and to control Shannon, he would sleep with them as well. So when he feels, or they feel like that he loves them and that they're in a relationship with him, he has all of these relationships individually. So basically, a room. That's how I feel. He go in the Shannon room with her and with her kids and stuff at. That's a relationship. Then he'll leave that room and go upstairs and, be with Annette. And then he'll leave that relationship and then go be with NaZiyah. And then he'll leave that try to create new ones throughout like that's just what he does. And he does it everywhere he goes. So when I said that Jarvis is a sex addict, he is, but he is also a predator. So with him being a predator, his sex addiction is on a whole nother level. Because most people that have a sex addiction is usually like PORN or anonymous SCX, and stuff like that. But with illegal people, is usually not with people underage or children, or anything like that. Like that don't fall into the usually fall into the ex addict bracket. But what he is a monster. So with him being a monster and and being a sex addict, they pretty much have to have it every day, all the time. They're nympho. They have to. It's like a drug to them. It's like they have to get their fix, and multiple times, throughout the day. So this is why Jarvis sleeping with everybody. He's sleeping with everybody. He got real community pain. To where he's sleeping with any of them. So if the people at this household say no or don't feel like it, I'm gonna go to this household. They don't feel like that, I'm gonna go to this one. They don't feel like that, I'm gonna go down and I'm gonna go down to the children and all that. Like that's just like he's a monster. A monster. That's what I would say. He's an XCX monster. Is what I will put. But he definitely does still fall into the bracket of ex-addict, right? So I feel that even with Shannon, if Shannon didn't feel like giving it up or Shannon didn't feel like doing nothing, what an addict is good. A hole is a hole. When it comes to an addict. Most addicts, they don't just do women. They'll do anything, anyone, whatever you identify as, whatever. As long as you have a hole for them to put it in, that's good enough for them. When they get desperate, they'll just do anyone. They'll do anything. They'll go outside the box, and go from women to men or men to women or whatever, and what I get from Jarvis. Like Jarvis definitely gives that. And I also do not feel that his the children that he's done this to, I don't think it's just girls. I think it's boys too. I do. Because he's an addict. So he's going to try to do it and get it whatever he can. It shows his intent when he went to the younger cousin in the room with NaZiyah, right? And he tried to do it to her. This is how you know he's an addict, an ex-addict as well. He tried to do it with her. No. So when she said no, he got on top of NaZiyah and did what he needed to do. At that point, that he got on top of her and did it then. So that's the addict in him. Like, okay, you said no, I'm going to go to the next one. I'm going to go to, the ones that will. Because if NaZiyah would have said no, he would have went downstairs to Shannon. Would have said no, that he would have went to Annette. If Annette would have said no, that he would have left the household and went to wherever, when his girl's house is or baby mama's house is, or something like that. And, honestly, that's what it gives. And it gives this on his mind all day long. So he is even trying to incorporate SCX into work. So bringing NaZiyah to the shop with him, you think he's not having X with her there? He absolutely was. 100%. That was his fix. So he'll bring his fix with him. And with him bringing his daughter, you think if NaZiyah was saying no, that he's not gonna turn that energy into his daughter? He has no bounds. He's a monster. So it's like, that's the thing. Like, he's not gonna be like, oh, okay, well, my daughter's off limits. How not if he gave a 4-year-old an STD? If you already violated one of your own children? If you dated women just to violate their children, like, yeah, you're going to say yes to whatever says yes to you. So I do believe that there was a significant relationship with and Jarvis. And I also think that's why she is protecting him as well, because they want him to get out. They do. I think Annette wants him to get out, and I think Shannon wants him to get out too, because there is more to this story. They have way more involvement than they're with and to what they're leading on. So this is why, again, I think that Annette was completely fine with Jarvis getting rid of NaZiyah's baby, because she didn't want the baby for multiple reasons. I really don't think it was just because NaZiyah was 13 or just because it was by a grown man or just, no. I think it was because she had feelings for him. I think it started there. I have feelings for you. And it's already hard enough for her to watch Shannon have children by him and these other women have children by him. But now I have to watch my granddaughter do it, although you knew what was going on. Again, there was multiple CPS reports, and NaZiyah was in one of those CPS reports to where she was being listed as being touched inappropriately by this. And she was little. She was like 10 or 11 when that report was made, and that he was touching their bodies, and that he was putting his finger in their no parts, and stuff like that. So a lady that told reported that he did it to NaZiyah too. So it wasn't her that he was doing it to, he did it to her as well. Just like Jarvis did to the NaZiyah's cousin, in the bedroom. He tried to get with her. She said no, and he did what he needed to do with NaZiyah. So he's known for doing it like that. He's tutorial grooming process. Well, even with, because if she said no, then why not remove NaZiyah from the room and do so? I feel that so to like show the young lady is nothing to fear, like it's nothing to be scared of. A tactic to make her more open, meaning that this is not the last time that he's going to be approaching you. He's going to be doing this again and again and again after that, because they won't let up until you give in. And some women do become exhausted with it to where he will take advantage, of that process and that situation, dangle things in front of them, offer them things. And with Zaya, I feel like she wanted love. So that's what he dangled in front of her. He didn't have to dangle money or products or things and stuff. He didn't have to do none of that. With her, she just wanted to be loved. She just wanted somebody to care about her. And he offered her that on a silver platter. Like, that was simple. For him, that's why it's so sick to do that to someone so young, because they're so naive and they have so much to learn, about life. And those lessons shouldn't be through you. Those lessons should be with people their age, their first crushes and liking their boys and whatnot. It should be, somebody, maybe a year or two older than her or a year younger than her or something like that, that she's feeling this way about, not you. It should be a stranger giving her that love, not someone as familiar, someone supposed to be looked at as her uncle, doing so. So, and then another thing, Jarvis was engaged to other women and dated other women during this course of being with Shannon. How is Shannon and him saying that Jarvis was NaZiyah's uncle, or they saw nothing different than an uncle-niece relationship when Shannon and Jarvis aren't together? Again, that's why I kept saying, like, why do people keep saying that is her uncle? It's not her uncle. If Shannon was married to him, and even if they were married and not together, I can still see people saying that that's her uncle. But how is he her uncle if he's not even with the aunt? The grandmother, Annette, said herself that Jarvis, when he would come over, besides picking up the children, Shannon will go outside and talk to him at the car. That's not a relationship. That's not dating. That's not what that were. Because why would Shannon have to go outside and talk to him in the car if you're letting him take NaZiyah up and stuff? Like, so why are you making it seem like he wasn't allowed in your house? Because that's the energy that Annette was trying to give on the stand. Like, Jarvis wasn't allowed in there. Well, that doesn't make any sense. Because if Jarvis wasn't allowed in the home, then why was he taking your granddaughter places? You don't trust him to come into your home around the children, but you trust him to take them and leave with them? Hello? That don't make any sense. This judge saying that everything that you saying, Annette, is very questionable, because it is. Your whole testimony didn't make sense at all. Shannon's whole testimony didn't make sense at all. The energy that we see, him being able to take her and her for hours, and we have a witness statements to state that they were together for hours. He was alone with her, and that she was at. But you said that he didn't even come in your house like that besides to use the bathroom. So how does it get to he can barely come into your home, but he can take people out of it and take them where he wanted to? Because how do you actually know that NaZiyah was at the shop? Because she wasn't. He took NaZiyah many places that day. They even went out of town to another place to go pick up a car. All that. She was supposed to be at the shop. Why are you taking her other place? Why is she riding shotgun, front seat? Why is all this going on? Like, why are you driving her around like this your girl, like your girl with you? Hello? But you saying that she your niece, but her aunt. That's weird. You telling everybody, this my niece. He's slow. This is how you know that Jarvis is an idiot, and there's many breadcrumbs. The reason we cannot find NaZiyah is because of Annette and Shannon, not because of Jarvis. No. I feel like King assisted Jarvis in getting rid of that body, helping them get rid of NaZiyah's body. But I don't feel like Jarvis did it by himself. No. So the reason we can't find her is because of her family. Yes, Northern Dame said, yeah, but some Solani. Correct. He took our girl NaZiyah to Yepping them the Solani girl. That is not where that shop is at. Got her nerve. How did NaZiyah get to Yepping them Solani girl? How did she get there? If she's supposed to be at the shop, but Alexis is called Yepping them Solani. Yep, Solani, Michigan girl. Look it up. Nah. So yes. So if you didn't trust him, he didn't come into your home like that. Although the majority of the essay was going down in the basement in his room, but whatever. Then that had to be at your house because that's where she lived at, right? Oh, okay. Yeah, so that's why we can't find them. Is because Shannon and Annette. That's why we can't find this girl. Not Jarvis. Jarvis is a fucking idiot. Okay? A dummy. Just goof. This how you know he made super mistakes. You could look at his charges and the stupid things that he been charged for, like caught with weapons. Like he's an idiot. It's like you're stupid. So this how you know there's other brains behind the operation. 100%. And it's proving the motive is the what they really need in order to pull charges up on Annette and Shannon. You know, they have to prove a motive because right now they're not hiding, you know, and everybody that know everything is all hiding secrets. Shannon and Ned, they're all hiding stuff. So, and you can tell by their questionable testimonies. This is how I know the police need to, if they're not looking at these two, Detroit, you done completely dropped the ball. Because their names is written all over this. But without holding y'all, let me a shout out to y'all know Shanitra Speaks. Love Shanitra Speaks. Make sure y'all are subscribed. We're gonna listen to a little bit of this interview. And then my girl. Of Jarvis's sister, or Lord, other way around. NaZiyah's brother, Navir. Sorry, it's all these names. It's all these names. Her brother Navir speaks. Okay? Hold on. Let's pull this up. Yeah, it was deceased. Her dad passed away before she was 14. Face for it to bring that awareness. Shout out to Shanitra. This is my girl. Hold on, let me show y'all her channel. Y'all know. I love the pub. I love the pub. That's her channel right there. Shanitra Speaks. Okay, subscribe. Let's get my girl to 1 million. Okay, let's get her to 1 million subscribers. It is Shanitra Speaks. Okay, boom. Right there. This is exactly how you find it. Okay, great. Absolutely, I'm subscribed because I love her. She be on this NaZiyah T. She absolutely do. And I had missed her. I'm like, girl, where girl at? Where my girl? Where is my girl? Shanitra girl. I was like, girl, did you take a vacation, girl? Because I'll be waiting for her because she be having the tea. So, yeah, so this is NaZiyah's brother doing an interview. His name is Navir, okay? We get to know you under bad circumstances because it was a bad thing that happened to your sister, unfortunately. But I just want to let you know that this may be the story that's told in the world. She may have had to be the face for it to that awareness. She's not the only one. You know, I know someone in my family, same age, same situation, a auntie boyfriend. It happened in my family. So I just saw Toya and Regina, you know, Little Wayne's daughter. Toya's brother came out and said, my uncle got my mama pregnant. That's how I got here. Her big brother Walter, I was like, what? But you know, these things happen. Yeah, it's just the murder usually doesn't happen. Yeah. Or the disappearance. But usually a baby born to a family member is swept under the rug. It happens all the time. Yeah, now, like, all this is big. Like, now, like, kids, you know, coming forward, adulting forward, you know, a lot of people coming forward, and that's good. Mm-hmm. I feel like that's good because it's good for the community. I feel like everybody, you know, we should want the community to be safe, not just for us, but for the kids, you know, to change lives. So we gonna get into it. I want to know, so your sister was 13 during the disappearance. Is she 13 or did she turn 14 already? She turned 14. Okay, so now she's 14 and you... 16.
Good. So what age are you now? I'm 18. Okay, so you're 18, she's 14, so that would give you guys like a 4 age difference. Okay. So 4-year age difference, same mom, same dad? Same mom, different dad. Okay, where?
That's a damn shame. Late NaZiyah mama, I hate you. Yeah. That's the damn. Knowing where you come from is so important. It's so important. So if you're not gonna show them where they come from on your side, because I mean we see what's going on over there, girl, with everything that happened to NaZiyah and all that stuff. Hi Pisces. It is very important even if you don't spend time with them, it's still important to know where you come from, so that you can always go home when you need to know certain stuff or figure certain stuff out about you. If something is in your family's history, like cancer and disease and stuff like that. I mean, it's important to know where you come from so that you can know what to prepare for, or how they handled it, or if they, I think that's very important. And not only did NaZiyah, not get to, be around her father and be raised with her father, but then you have your own son who basically don't even know who his father is, and that's crazy. Like, you are an awful parent. And an awful parent. But everybody want to keep saying how Annette is a good grandmother. And no, she can't be. Your children are a product of you. So not everything that they do is going to be on you. No, not at all. But some things are. Some of them definitely. Your children are more prone to get married if you do. If you don't ever get married and you're single, pretty much the whole time your kid is brought up and you're just dating people and stuff like that, then that's probably what your kid is going to do as well, because they don't know anything different. They don't know anything different. Now, a lot of people are just individuals, like, on their own. There's been plenty of children that have got married and their parents never married, and whatnot. But they carry out that dream of their own, like if they're inspired by it, like rather seeing another marriage or seeing some TV, somebody being married, like, oh, you know what, I want to do that one day. And not using you as the example because you didn't like show them that. And again, it's not frowned upon or anything. I'm not frowning upon it, or judging it, or anything like that. But I'm just saying, like, our children are a product of us. Like, the big decisions that they make in life, they're gonna base them off the decisions that we made. So keeping a place, paying your bills, if you not doing none of that stuff, you keep getting evicted and having to move, all of that, you can't hold a job down, they're gonna follow suit. They're going to do the same thing. If you want them to hold down a job to make a career out of it or something, you have to show them that. So then they know what to do. They can use you as their example. So if, like him, already Navir, already 18 and already got a child already. Well, that's a thing in his family. It's generational. All of them have children very young. I mean, at least it sounds like he made it to 18. I don't know how old the baby is. It does sound like at least 17 or 18. He made it to before having a child, but he has one and doesn't know how to care for the child. How do he know that when nobody has really done it for him? It sounds like his life has been really unbalanced. He's been here and there and here and there. And we're not really no stability, which is very important when you're raising children. Stability. They need to know that there's just certain things that they don't have to worry about. Like, they shouldn't have to worry about a roof being over their head. They shouldn't have to worry about clothes being put on their back. They shouldn't have to worry about food being in the refrigerator. That's stability. When they know that they're good, that they have a home and the home requires and has the requirements that need. Then they're not worried about it. But when your kid is going to school and eating, bringing certain things home because they know there's not a lot of food there, or they're saving their lunch because at home that is horrible. That is really sad. If they feel like they can't trust you to feed them, if they can't trust you to house them, if they can't trust you to protect them, because those are the things that we're supposed to be doing as a parent. And it's unfortunate that these kids did not get that, and people are so quick to judge them without thinking about their upbringing and just feeling like they're ghetto, they're trash, they're throwaways, and they're not. They just don't have the necessary knowledge that they need in order to live productive lives. They haven't seen it. So since they have not seen stability, They cannot offer it. So with this young man and having a child, it's like he wants to take care of his baby. You know, I'm sure his kid's mom is probably on him. Maybe need diapers, maybe need this, maybe need that. You know, whatnot. Like, I'm doing what I can, but still at the same time, I need your help. I'm sure that stresses him out. You know, and as a young man, not really knowing which way to go, not really knowing what direction to take, not really knowing care of this child, you know, that you have created. Sometimes desperate times calls for desperate measures. And they'll do things and people will judge them for that instead of looking into, okay, well, I wonder, like, how did he get here? Like, how did he get to the point to where you are out here consistently in the law and whatnot? Because not everybody look at, oh, I'm just gonna go get a job, I'm going hard. Well, if you didn't see that, if you used to people hustling and stealing and stuff, like whatever they're doing, robbing, you know what, you're gonna fall into that category. Most people don't doing easy money, you know, but they feel like they don't have any other options. Like, my daughter need to eat, she need to eat now. My kid need diapers now. Desperate times causing for desperate measures, but it doesn't make them bad people. So I don't think Navir is a bad person, but I think it's easy to judge him when we know better. Well, he doesn't, you know? And since he doesn't know better, I think that we should offer assistance, you know, offer to try to help him instead of judging him, because that's what has been done his life. And look at the situation that he is in, which isn't the best. No mother, father, sister deceased, being R-worded in the same house that he removed himself from and whatnot. I mean, even he didn't protect her. So, you know, there it did. So I'm sure he probably has guilt about that too. Like, I'm her big brother, you know, I protected her, but because I still don't understand him saying that the grandmother's a good grandmother. If the grandmother's a good grandmother, what you leave for? Why you leave? If Annette is so amazing, because Annette had him too. She had both of them, NaZiyah and Navir. And both of them, as we see, Navir left the house and NaZiyah is gone. So she's a horrible person. She's not a good grandmother, not at all. Just because you've seen her be sweet and timid, you know, and stuff like that, too, means that that's just what she was within that moment in time. But to allow what happened to NaZiyah to have happened, a good person would never allow it. It don't matter if they gave you butterscotch candy. It don't matter if she gave you ice cream and cooked dinner every Sunday and all of that. Because at Big Mama's house, Big Mama would have never allowed anything like that to happen to her children, nor grandchildren, ever. And she also would have protected her grandchildren. She wouldn't have let her grandchild near Jarvis. Hearing Jarvis's background, he couldn't come near me. He couldn't come near none of my grandkids, no one. Because I'm a good person and I don't want anything to happen to them. And I don't place anyone around because these things can be prevented. They can be. Predators only go as far as you allow them to. The more you give them, the more you give them leeway, the more they're going to take advantage of it. Okay? People do change, but not them. Not them. Yes, people change, but not them. That's forever. You do it once, it's forever. We don't need 50, 60 victims to find out that you are this is for a permanent thing. No, one is enough. One is enough. We don't need a list. One is enough to prevent more. So she could have absolutely prevented that situation with NaZiyah by minding her P's and Q's and not letting her granddaughter go anywhere she is not going. So because she dropped NaZiyah off as a good grandmother? No. Because look at what was happening to the individual who was getting dropped off at school. Look what was happening to her at home. Chains on refrigerators and all of that stuff. Like, come on, please. Please. Those chains are to isolate. That is what they are. Those chains are to prevent. And that's what they should have done. Instead of wrapping chains around refrigerators, they should have been wrapping chains around, putting on chastity and stuff on those girls in that house. Y'all should have been a chastity belt. Y'all should have been to where he try to do anything to her, all he sees is you. Because you're so present. Because you care about urine. You didn't do that. Y'all fully allowed that young lady to do what she wanted to do. And y'all fully allowed that man to do what he wanted to do to her. Y'all allowed that. You allowed it. So yeah, good people don't do that. So, and it's going to take time for Navir to understand that. But one day he will. He will one day. He'll understand. One day understand. He sure will.
No, I checked in. My dad was deceased, but her dad passed away before she went missing.
I read the story and I also heard his interview. He sounded in deep grief. You know, have you ever seen her dad physically? Like met him?
Yeah, I had. He pulled up on me one day. We chopped it up.
I don't see how the father could have been in deep grief. How can you be in deep grief with somebody you don't know? How can you be in deep grief about a child? I'm sorry, like, God rest his soul. But how can you be in deep grief about a child you neglected because of your wife? Not because the child did anything to you. Not because you didn't know if the child was yours. Just simply because you cheated on your wife and conceived that young innocent lady and did nothing to protect her, love her, nothing. Because if you were present, Jarvis wouldn't have been able to. That's how you know the young lady in that room with NaZiyah, the cousin, that testified that was in the room with her father is in her life in way, shape, or form. You can tell because she said no. She said no. Why? Because there's a man in her life. Yeah, it's a man there. You weren't. You weren't there. So what NaZiyah was chasing and seeing inside of Jarvis was you. That is able to get to her. Because a woman, a little girl needs her father. The mother is too important. Too important. And it's way less of a chance that she's be non-present before the father. It's a higher probability that the father is not going to be present before mom, right? Even if the mom don't want to be, they still are, right? So if there's a male presence in said person's life, most females are going to go to my dad. When most females start thinking about SCX, their dad comes in mind because they know most dads don't play that. Most dads don't do nothing about boys, away from boys. I don't want to hear nothing about a boy. Don't you be liking a boy? No, you can't. A boyfriend. Da, 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 da. So it's definitely putting a wedge there to let in the girl know mentally that is something about these boys that my dad don't trust. My dad don't want me with these boys. Mothers are the same way, but it hit different when a man is saying it. When a man is offering that type of protection. Because then when these men are approaching a female, the first thing, most of them, if their father's in their life, like if a dude is approaching a female aggressively or acting as if he's going to hurt or harm her, their dad or brother is usually the first thing, that come to mind. Another male, they're equal. Instead of inviting their mother to an issue with a man, is usually going to think of another man to, invite in. So, and it's no different than romantically. If a man is in your life, or you have a really stepfather or just a good father in your life, your mind's going to go to that. What they would think, what they'd say, all of that. Mom too, but it hits different from a man. It does. That's just fact. That's just fact. When my mom with me when I was younger, I would be like, remember, I would talk back sometimes. But with my dad, never. Never. When he spoke, I listened. I wouldn't say a word. I would say nothing. But I would try my mom all the time. Or I would test her. But I would never test my father. And my children are the same way. They'll test their mom. They'll go back and forth with her. But me, I can call my daughter right now. If she have a problem with her mom, having a little issue, I'll call her right now and be like, yo, and she straighten up, like, immediately. She don't come at me, nothing, because she don't play that. She don't play that at all. Very low tolerance for disrespect. So that's just what it hit different. When my daughter has issues with boys, she will call me over her mom. Like, she'll call me. She won't call her mom. Call me. Dad, what do I do? Look, I got this going on. Da, 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 da. Like, ask me for advice and stuff all the time. All the time. It even annoys her mom sometimes. She's like, why should I always ask you? I was just like, maybe she knows that I'm a dude, so it's coming from a guy's perspective. And that's sometimes a female needs that. They need that male perspective, that male dominance, to get them in line. That's why some women like when their men, are like that. When their men will combat them, and yell at them. Sometimes they view it as sexy when they put their foot down, not in an abusive way, but more so in a I'm a check you way, like who you talking to. Like they like that they're combative, that they'll meet them where they are, that they'll be the man, that stand up, and whatnot. They like that. burglar or something, you hear something at night until you lay down. You know what? There's a different type of stability, a different type of safety, that you have when there is a male presence. Somebody coming into our in the middle of the night or something like that. My daughter's gonna come to my room. They're gonna come to where I'm at. Dad, me. They're not gonna go to the bathroom. Dad. They got an issue with a dude. They call my dad. My daughter don't call me in school before like, Dad, so this dude right, hold on, put you on speaker. So he up here saying that he don't care about you, that he'll whoop you, bottle this, bottle that. To put him on. Oh, you gonna do what? What time we doing this at? We meet at the bus stop or in front of the school. Where is this happening? But so it's needed. It is. And I feel like NaZiyah would have been more prone to say no to Jarvis, move herself from that type of energy if her father was present. And for you not to be just because you messed up, that's not an excuse to me. And his wife, NaZiyah's father's wife, you are a horrible person too. Because as a woman, you should know that a child is innocent. A child is innocent. And for you to allow him to ignore NaZiyah and not raise NaZiyah and not let NaZiyah be a part of his life because you felt like you're looking at an infidelity instead of an innocent child, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. You ought to be very disgusted. You're not a woman, you're a little girl. You're big. You absolutely are. And that's why God took him from you, bitch. That's why he took him away. Nah. Now don't nobody got him. Now he with NaZiyah. Yeah, because allegedly when she went missing, he passed not too soon after. So maybe they're finally together now without you. So that's just where now he gone. Now he gone. Ain't that something? He lived all the way up until his died. So because that's what it gives. And Zion's no longer with us. That's just what that, yeah. And God don't like ugly. So just when you thought you had something, now you down here raising your kids without a father. Yeah, now you know how NaZiyah felt. Now you know how NaZiyah felt. Yeah, you got your nerve. Yeah, you tried. That was cute. That was cute. Do not play with God anointed. And NaZiyah was very anointed. She absolutely was. Yeah. And you're pressed. You sure are. Yeah. Now you down here having to live life without him and raise your kids on your goddamn own. Just what you wanted for lady. NaZiyah mama. Raise it by yourself. Okay, your turn. Now he up there with unlimited time in heaven with his daughter and you're pressed. Now he in heaven with his baby and his grandbaby, and he get to spend eternity with those innocent souls and you're pressed. Don't you wish you could say that for your kids?
He just kicked it with him, because I didn't really meet him like that. I ain't never get to meet, my sister dad like that.
So you didn't know him until the disappearance. You never met him.
Like I knew she had a dad, I knew he was coming around and stuff, but I ain't never know him personally.
Okay. So basically when he found out she disappeared, that's when he probably connected with you a little bit more.
He was trying to
So he said NaZiyah's father wanted to help him and linked with him more once he found out that NaZiyah was missing. The guilt was probably eating him alive. How could you not feel extremely guilty? How couldn't you?
Mm-hmm. And that's a great thing to do because taught me I used to always be like, no, forget that. Forget it.
This is Navir, NaZiyah's brother. Navir, NaZiyah's brother.
Even then, it was just like, no, if you weren't here then, I'm not forgiving nobody. Don't come around now. Somebody told me. The person that helped me start this podcast.
Please hit the like. Please hit the like. Please hit the like. This channel is Shanitra Speaks. It's right there on the screen. Shanitra Speaks. Please go and subscribe to my girl. Love her down.
Passed away. He told me, as long as somebody got breath in their body, they should have the right to, redo their wrongs. And it hit me hard, right. Who are we not to forgive or, let people still come around after they made a mistake because we are humans,
And I feel like when people do come around, after you did something, it brings back the energy every time.
Yeah.
NaZiyah, either way it goes, ghetto.
The same flashbacks, the same pushing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not it, That's why, a lot of people, we just don't stand from around it. That's why a lot of people don't go to funerals and stuff like that. So I understand.
So, both of you guys dead. See, so where's your mom at this point?
My mom, she's
in the streets.
She's in Detroit.
Okay.
Close by.
Now she out there somewhere. Now she out there somewhere and her daughters and don't nobody give a about NaZiyah. That is crazy. Not this poor boy don't even know where his own mama at. Now, if he didn't know where she was at before, he should definitely know where she at now. Knowing his sister and her daughter is missing. Like, that's why I say, lady, you are trash. You are trash. This should be enough, even if you are on drugs, to sober you up. This should be enough to sober you up.
I agree. She trying to, like, she going, she got her, addiction and stuff. I love my mom, but, she going through it.
Yeah, as you should love your mom, regardless of her circumstance. She gave you life. And that's honorable for you to say.
I just pray every day, pray every day, every night, things get better.
That's not honorable. It's not honorable. I appreciate him having whatever feeling he has about his mother. I'm never going to tell him to like hate her or to not. But this is a thing. People do not get to treat you any type of way, throw you away, choose anything over you, and you just accept it because they gave birth to you. Not at all. Look at what happened to NaZiyah. All right? This is the issue. Confronting things. Black people have to stop giving people, especially in their family, respect that they don't deserve. Just like they keep saying that Annette is a good grandmother. No, she not. Stop giving her a respect she don't deserve. Because y'all gassing her up when she knows what happened to that girl. So cut it out. We have to stop feeling like we cannot confront. If your parent did something to you, your parents out there on drugs, all of that stuff, you have every right to confront them about it. You have every right to hate them. You have every right to dislike them. Every right. And don't let nobody say you're not wrong for feeling that way. And don't make nobody make you feel that way, because that's just, you just gonna boil up inside and suppress and suppress and suppress. And take it out on people that don't deserve it. Because you feel like you can't confront your mom for being on drugs. You at home cussing your girl out. You at home cussing your child out. You at work short-tempered with people, all that, losing jobs and all of that, because you holding on to all of this shit on the inside that you need to let out, but you can't because they gave birth to you. You can't because they fed you. You didn't ask them to do any of that thing. None of us asked to be born. We didn't ask to. Okay? So if you're going to take us through things, acknowledge them, take responsibility for them, and let us vent. And this young man is entitled to that. So I don't feel like it's right when people stuff like that. I respect however he feels. So if he say he still loves his mom, hey, who am I? Who am I? All right? But at the same time, you let people know that it's okay to feel the opposite, because that makes sense. It makes sense if someone not being present in your life, you not liking them, you hating them. That's good. Feel that. So then maybe one day you can let it go. Rather y'all resolve, but coming, sitting down, being fake and being like, oh, mom, I love you. Although you're in the street, you never took care of me. You just let me go from house to house and all that. I still love you, though, because you're my mom. No, moms take care of you. Moms hear you. Moms raise you. Moms do all of that. So what makes her one if she didn't do nothing? That's why they have words for things like that. Lady, his mother was a surrogate, not a mom. It's not a mother. A mother gonna nurse you back and get sick, make remedies up, all of that stuff, be there for you, make sure you get back and forth to school, cleaning up after you, yell at you, ground you. That's what moms do. Moms be stressed the out, not cracked the out. End of story. But there is redemption. I feel like a person can redeem themselves. Lady ain't did nothing to redeem herself. Your daughter is sitting here pregnant by a grand and missing. And you still in the streets? That's not enough to pull you from the streets, although you done chose a drug over your children damn near their whole life. But they still supposed to love you? Why? Why? Love is earned. It's not just given. And that's what black people do. They just give it instead of letting a person earn it, because that's what you're supposed to do. You earn your child love by being there for them on a consistent basis. So that's all they're going to tell people. My mom always been there for me. My dad always been there for me. If my mom don't play about me, my dad don't play about me. That's what a parent is. Even if you live poorly, all that, none of that matters. All that matters is that you are, You are cared for. You are protected. You are. That's what matters. Stability. That's what matters. Nothing else. You ain't got to be in no mansion. All that. Ain't nothing, because that's all material. Materials don't make you a better parent. Love does. How much you love your kids determine how you will raise them. So if she did not raise her kids, how does she love them? How can you tell me, as somebody that did not raise me, did not look out for me, all of these horrible, heinous things that happened to me, see you and you say, you love me? How can lady go online, say NaZiyah was alive, and she's saying, I love my daughter? How? What proof do you have? Because you pushed her out? Because what else? That's confusing. That's not earned love. That's being conditioned to making you feel like you have to. Because do you actually love these people? Like, it's like being sometimes or a relationship. Sometimes you don't realize that you're not in love anymore. It takes certain things for you to realize, you know what? This ain't what that were. This ain't what that were. I really don't want you like that. Like, I really don't. You know, but you're being told and conditioned and programmed to think that when you're in a marriage, you have to stay in it. You can't leave the marriage. Because even families, our families don't divorce. We don't get divorced. You know, all of this. So that's playing in the back of your mind. So it's like, are you in this because you want this person? You love this person? Or are you in this because your family don't divorce? Or are you in this because this is just all you know? Are you in, you know? So it's different. So then it's no different than looking at a parent. If I have really good parents that loved me and loved on me, how can he think he has the same thing? How? My mom always been there for me, especially like 100%. Like my mom is been there. My mom raised me fully from a baby all the way until I was 18 years old. She raised me. She loved me. So how can you think you have the same thing if your mom been on your whole life? Basically, everybody raised you but her. How that's not the same thing. Because if mom love you, then what did my mom? What do we explain? What do we call what we have? If she done been there for me my whole life, like hello, what do we call that? She saw all my children's births. Like was a phenomenal grandmother. Like how can my mom be a good grandmother but yours is too? Your grandmother's good. No, not at all. They're different. But it's sad that he thinks that way and that he feels like he has to. No, you don't. And it's ladies' job to change that. It's ladies' job to change that. That's it. It's for nobody else. He don't have to love her. No, he do not. If she want him to love him, then she need to give him something to love. That's all I'm saying. Give him something to love. That's it. Give him something to love. Yeah, I mean, they might all want clout, but I really don't feel like this young man wants clout. His sister died, or his sister is like, he had nothing to do with it. So I really don't feel like it's that. People are reaching out to him. People want to talk to him. And yeah, I don't see an issue with him speaking, you know? Yeah.
You know, God bless us with blessing, you know, and it's just all about just doing right. You know, doing right and like, everybody not perfect, you know. Everybody make mistakes, you know. And that's where I feel like where I made a mistake when I left. I feel like I should have, you know, stayed home a little bit longer, but I had to do what I had to do.
I mean, he do need some money. Clover said he was saying he wanted thousands for an interview. I mean, he trying to make his little coin. I mean, I ain't gonna knock him. I mean, hey, everybody's hey, I'm not gonna knock the young man. You know, I'm sure he is in financial ruin, probably very young. Don't you know? Hey, I don't know. What do y'all think about that? What do y'all think about Navir allegedly charging thousands of dollars to be interviewed? What do y'all think about that?
Yeah. So you regret leaving the house then? Would you say that?
At the same time, it's like, when I did, you know, stuff was getting better.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the people that be around.
What you mean by things were getting better?
Like, you know, like my grandma. Well, I'm gonna start off with me.
Yes.
Like I started to get my life together, you know, getting my own, you know, which everybody should have.
Mm-hmm.
Like you just getting my information, you know, just getting my life right, job, you know, just keeping the head on.
Because is there a scenario going around that stating that you ran away? Did you leave home or did you run away? You just gotta.
I ain't ran away.
He absolutely ran away. Did you leave home and go get a place? Yeah. You couldn't have went to go live with your father because he's deceased, allegedly. You didn't go live with Lady Mother because she's an addict. So, what did you just turned 18? So if you stayed there now and you left, that would be you leaving. Because you're just leaving. You're grown. You can go where you want to go. You were, I don't know if he was a teenager at that point. I think it was like, what, preteen? So, what do you mean by you just left? That don't make any sense. If you left that home and weren't placed somewhere else, then you ran away. Now, you probably don't look at it as running away because your family where you were, you just weren't staying there anymore. So, because it's the same thing when if your grandmother ran such a tight ship, you wouldn't have been able to leave. What are you talking about? But she was a good girl. Can't tell. Y'all not showing it. I would never run away from my grandmother's home. You know how much I love my grandmother, God rest her soul? Oh my God. It took me years to grieve her passing away. How much I love that woman. She was the best thing that ever happened to me. Like, she was my everything. My grandmother and I were so close. She has so many grandkids, but I was definitely one of her favorites. Like, she loved her to me. Like, I was her baby. So I loved my grandmother. Would have to tear me away from her house. I would, even as a teenager, I would cry leaving my grandmother's home. How much I loved her. Like when we would leave Indiana, like I did not want to go. Like I did not want to leave her. I just loved her just to pieces. You know, and oh my God, he was amazing. Oh God. Oh, I had an amazing grandfather. My grandparents were the best grandparents ever. Okay. When I tell you I love those two people, like I will get emotional. I like crying. But they were amazing. You would have to, I mean, I would be holding on the furniture when my mom would, because my grandmother was just everything. And she was so mean at times. And that's like, I loved it. You know, it's like, because she like sour sweet. You know, one minute she's like, oh, y'all sit down, da, 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 da. And then the next minute she'd be like, come here. And then I come to she like tell me like little stories. You know, so she always gave me like money. She'd give me the money and send me to the store. And it's like to go get her because she the moon pies. So I would get her like her little moon pies and she'd be like, with the change, get you something. The change was always like $3, $4, or $5. You know, so she was just so sweet. Like I just her. And she was crazy about me. Like I was just like, oh my God. And she was like that with all of us. Like it wasn't like a just me thing. I was just always up in her face. You know, I was the great kid that was always, you know, granny. I just loved her. Yeah, but she treated us all the same. Like she didn't treat us any differently. Well, I didn't feel like she treated us differently. I was just always up in her face. You know, I was just annoying, and she loved me because she knew I was her baby. But you would have to pry me from there. I say summers at my grandmother's house. Loved it. My mom always got because my grandmother would call for us. She'd be like, "Yeah, is they coming? Are you bringing them down, or like what's going on?" So because we moved out of state, but I would go and stay with her summers. We loved it there. We even every time we go to Indiana, we always go and visit the old home. You know, with all they're dead and gone, but we have so many memories in that house. I've taken my grandkids, my kids there and taking pictures in front of the homes. All of my cousins and brothers and stuff, they've taken their kids, and taking pictures in front of the home. And it's a wonderful feeling, going back and just thinking about being kids running around and now having our own kids and now they're here. It's just like wow. But so I had a great grandmother. Okay. And there were certain things happened to me under her watch, but she had no idea, what was going on. And she couldn't have. But I had great grandparents. I was blessed. Very blessed. Because they were amazing. They absolutely were. So, yeah, but I don't understand that. If you were leaving at a young age and your grandmother did not give you permission to leave, then you were running away. That's what I mean. You were running away. So, yeah. So I don't understand when they say, Annette was a good grandmother. Because I had a good grandmother. She was amazing. I don't know about this Annette person.
I just left home. Like, it was incidents that I did remember. Like, it was one time I did run away. Maybe because like I think I was going through that depressed moment at the time. All them flashbacks, think about mom and stuff, you know,
Yeah.
happened to us and stuff. It's just deep.
Okay.
It was
I
just,
wonder what he is referring to, like when he's saying all these flashbacks to what happened to mom, and with this, and da, 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 da. It's like what, like, give us the what, because there's something behind that, you know, it's something behind him saying it. So it's like, did something happen to him? Did something happen to him? Because he said he was running away and stuff like that, depressed. Well, what was going on? You know, I would love to pick his brain, you know, and figure out, you know, because sometimes they don't even realize what's going on. You know, victims, sometimes the trauma, when you just suppress it and try to run away from it, you know, you don't dissect what happened, you know, get to the realization of what actually happened to you. So I find that interesting. Very interesting. Very interesting. I wonder what happened.
a lot, and I feel like my grandma, she wasn't there, like, you know, check in on like our mental, like where being my little sister mental was at, as far as being like a mom, because you know, she was our guardian.
Yes.
It wasn't up to, it wasn't all, like she wasn't checking, seeing where our mental was at.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all okay? Or, you know, things okay. We ain't really do nothing. We ain't really go out.
Mm-hmm.
That's just honest.
So basically, it was like a cage situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, I grew up in a strict house. So would you say your grandmother was?
So he said, you know, we basically went anywhere. We didn't do anything. So she's asking, the interviewer is asking, well, do you feel like it was like a cage situation? And he says, yeah. So that gives even more incentive in why, you know, because keeping somebody caged is not being a protective parent. It's not at all. Because if keeping them caged, how did NaZiyah get pregnant in that cage? Stop playing with me. So that doesn't make her a good parent. And people think that too, like, oh, well, they didn't let them go anywhere. Just because you don't let your kid go anywhere, or whoever you're looking after go anywhere, does not make you a good parent. It does not. If anything, it makes you a worse one, because they should be out there enjoying life, exploring. Please hit the like, please hit the like, please hit the like. Over 500 in the building, 200 likes. Thank you to everybody who has double tapped that screen. I really appreciate it. But if we can keep double tapping, I would appreciate that. So, yeah, so with the grandmother not letting them go anywhere, to me, that's not signs of a good parent either, because they shouldn't feel caged. They shouldn't feel like they never go anywhere, or can't go anywhere, or can't have friends. No, it's about trusting them and letting them go outside. Do I get nervous when my son and daughters, you know, stuff, want to go hang out with people? Absolutely. But I have to give them that trust. That is how they learn to do, what not to do, who to hang around, who not to hang around. You know, they have to know that. They have to go out there and experience it, because they need those skills. They need those social skills, being outside, learning streets, and learning, you know, addresses, and catching the bus, you know, stuff like that. Like, they need that type of experience, meeting strangers and stuff like that, who to stay away from, who, you know, like, they have to experience those things, because if they don't, then they're too protected, to where they become too trusting. And experience shows you who you should be cool with, who you shouldn't be cool with, who you should trust, who you shouldn't trust. And them being caged means that they can only trust the people in the home, and only trusting the people in the home, relationships go beyond where they're supposed to go. You know, people staying out on farms and stuff like that, to where they talk about, you know, incest. You know, because there's not options around the changes, hormones, you know, and all of that. So it's nice to be able to go out and experience that with like strangers, whether it's just dating, you know, or just hanging out, kissing, going on little dates, movies, grabbing some food or something, just hanging out at the park. It's good to get out there and do that type of stuff. And why it made NaZiyah more open to letting Jarvis infiltrate is because she is not getting that experience. She's not. She's a caged bird that is a check. Okay, again, NaZiyah's grandmother, Annette, got a check for having NaZiyah and her brother. I don't believe that she ever cut the check off when it came to NaZiyah's brother. I believe she was still getting that check until that boy probably just turned 18. Because and sometimes it goes a little bit after that, you know, to where they're like 19 or 20. They'll cut off depending on, you know, how it's set up or what state you're in. So, but she was getting a check for them. Even with him leaving and not coming home, I still feel like she was cashing that check and taking care of the things she needed to take care of, versus to taking care of that young man, or making sure he stayed in the household. And it was the same thing with NaZiyah. I think she was cashing that check up until they told her that she couldn't, or till they stopped sending it to her. Because NaZiyah is no longer in her care because either is missing or deceased. So, yeah, I don't feel that she cut those benefits off, reported that NaZiyah was missing. Again, it took the police to be called by the school. Okay? Annette never called the police. Not one time did she dial 911. The school did, mandated reporters. After Annette tried to go to the school and make it look like it was their fault by stating, I haven't seen my granddaughter, she didn't come home from school. So make it seem like she never got off the bus, or something like that. Like, you guys are actually responsible. I haven't seen my granddaughter. Is she here, or did she show up to school today? Because I haven't seen her, and the last place that she was at was on y'all bus, and whatnot. So trying to blame it on the school. So the school was like, okay, well, if she's not home, she ain't been there since yesterday. It's looking like it's about to be going on 24 hours, and you haven't seen her. As mandated reporters, we have to call and report this. So that's what the school did. The school called 911, and the police came to the school. And that is where the investigation started, at her school, instead of at Annette's address, because that's where it should have started at. Called the police to your home and said that that girl was missing. But when you're complicit, when you have involvement, it's hard to do that. When you're an accessory, it's hard to do that. So, yeah, but moving right along.
Trick.
She was
Yeah.
stuck in her own way, so I can't.
Cause you.
I mean, like, I'm not gonna bash her for it,
Yeah.
It's okay, but I wasn't. It wasn't for me.
Okay, because if you could hear, I got a little accent. My mom's from the South, so they grew up on a farm. Oh, Tunnel Springs, Alabama, right by Pensacola.
Being sheltered doesn't weaken a person at all. I shelter my children. I super shelter them. I sure do. But they have a choice in if they're going to be a loner. That's a choice. Not if you're being forced to be a loner, meaning you can't go nowhere, you're not allowed to leave the house, and if so, it's only with certain people, like Jarvis, the man of the house. Other than that, NaZiyah didn't go nowhere. NaZiyah was not allowed to do anything and whatnot. So that would be NaZiyah being a loner by choice. If you can't do anything, that means that choice is being taken away. So that's not being a loner. That is when being sheltered actually does weaken you. It does, because the life experiences that you're supposed to be having, you are not having them. But it is your decision when you have those life choices. So if you don't want to go outside, if you just want to kick it in the crib, and whatnot, and there's nothing wrong with that. You're an introvert. You feel sheltered. You like being at home. You like being around the people that are there. You feel safe with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. And that's being sheltered. They were being imprisoned. That's a prison, what they were being put in. Because if NaZiyah want to go outside and kick it, she should be able to go outside and kick it. She want to go down the street or two and hang out with her friends and jump Dutch and just sit on the porch and talk about boys and stream social media and, all that. She should be able to do that. But it's obviously not a choice that NaZiyah was being given. So I'm all for it. And I absolutely believe that sheltering does not weaken them. I agree. But I think that it needs to be a choice if you are going to be like a loner. That's a choice, not force. I feel that Annette forced NaZiyah to be a loner. And I feel like she was the same thing with her grandson. And I think that that's why he ran away. He ran away because he didn't feel free, and not to roam the streets, just to go outside, just to be young, be free. We used to go outside and be able to run around as long as we wanted to. But if we go outside, we didn't have to. It was never forced, for us to go outside. The only time we were forced to go outside was when there was multiple kids there. And like at my grandma's house, it would be like 5 of us, and she'd be like, okay, yeah, y'all too loud, y'all tearing up tight, go in the front yard. That's the only place she would force us to. She never forced us to go like to a park or anything like that. She'd tell us to go in the front because they had a beautiful porch and she could hear everything. So when we were outside playing, she could hear and see everything that we were doing. So, and she would do that. She would go sit on the porch and hang out with my grandpa, and they would just kind of watch us play and listen to us play. And when we get too rough, tell us to stop. Because back then we have, all these electronics. So we actually got outside and really pretended like we was WWE and we were wrestler, all of that stuff, 3 Ninjas and all of that. We were ninjas, Bruce Lee, Enter the Dragon. All that. We was outside like that, Dragon Ball Z, stuff like that. So, yeah, we would play outside all the time, but we were loners at the same time. It would be days to where we wouldn't go all, we're just kicking in the basement all day, and stuff like that. But that was by choice. They did not get that. And that is super unfortunate, that he felt like he was in a prison.
So my mom grew up with all that, you know, farmland, how to sew by hand, cook everything from scratch. She know how, you know, they had bulls on their land. My mom used to, she said for fun, they used to run from the bulls, jump in the vineyard, you know, and jump. So they grew up really, really strict, like, but my mom, she grew up so strict. We only have sisters. I don't have no brothers. But she would nail down the windows. My mom did play like men in our house and sitting on men laps and certain things that women do have to teach young girls.
Correct.
You know, and if you don't, you know, sometimes that can be a casualty.
You know, safety can be
molestation, of abuse, you know, you know, because every abuse is not just sexual. It could be mentally, you know what I'm saying? It could be a lot. So,
yeah.
So your grandmother, like, strict. So basically, like, y'all
a
really
warden.
was, like, you know, in the house, really not leaving that much, not going nowhere. And she probably, you know, just...
we took our time. Like, take care of responsibilities around the household. You know, like me, I used to leave basketball practice, come home, clean up, you know, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do my chores and stuff. But I feel like that was taking like a bunch from what I wanted to do, you know. Where I was, you know, that's where like all my talk and stuff was at, like basketball. I was good at basketball. Had nice good grades. And, I had got a scholarship, Ball State, Fair State University and stuff.
Okay.
And they wanted me to come play basketball. So I had that opportunity, but it was like when I started missing practices, missing games and stuff.
Yeah.
Because I had to be at home, take care of stuff at home. Yeah, I lost it.
See, that's very important. Why did he have to be at home? A good grandmother would have made sure he was at basketball practice, made sure that she was at games if she could make it to games. You know, that's what a good parent does. No, you come home and anybody worry about what? Good at basketball. If this is something that he loves and he looks forward to, then you support it. That is your job. You got a vehicle, all of that stuff to get the boy back and forth. The state is paying you to do so. The state gives you food stamps to feed him. There's no reason he should not have been able to be the greatest at, or his greatest at basketball. He should have been able to take it all the way. That's something to be proud of. That's something to be happy about. Something to celebrate. And you even take that from him? They got to be at home to watch Shannon ugly ass kids? No, y'all. They got to come home to watch them gremlins that Shannon and this done pushed out there. Or sometimes he over there sleeping with his damn self. Got your damn nerve. He can't do it because he got to come home and watch baby's kids. That's a damn.
Okay. I'm sorry to hear that, but you always probably try to, you know, regain that back and go back if you want.
Yeah, my head is on like something like more level, like.
Well, he got a child now.
I don't know if I want to, you know, play basketball no more, you know. Maybe you know, it's still let me. I can still walk.
Right, I see y'all saying in the chat. Yep, they have to babysit, but who though? Who are they babysitting? Annette don't have any more kids. All her kids grown. All her kids is grown. So if he had to babysit, who? But NaZiyah, like who would he have had to watch? Yeah, Shannon kids, exactly.
You still got it.
I go to the court. I go group with my group of friends and stuff. We text each other like, yeah, y'all ready to go next Saturday? And we all meet up.
Okay, I gotta see this then. I gotta see this. Might have to put something on FanDuel and catch you out there one day.
And we can probably film it too.
Okay.
Just one day we can come out and just let everybody know, like, look, we filming today, so everything we gonna get on camera. So I know everybody gonna, boy, we be on camera. Everybody.
Okay, right. Everybody wanna show out. You know, it's like, I'll come to practice.
Yeah, you know how it be. But yeah, I've been just taking day by day, you know, with this whole situation with my sister. I didn't come out and talk immediately because the detectives and, you know, they wanted to stay off social media as much as we can because they was messing with the investigation. So.
Now, were you interviewed by the detectives?
She did ask me questions. I answered their questions.
But you wasn't interrogated.
It wasn't, they just asked me questions like, have you seen your sister or do you know anything?
Okay. What's the basic standard questions when someone is a missing person?
Regular procedures, yeah.
Now, however, dealing with the home situation, let's go back there. So, in the home with your grandmother, is it just you and NaZiyah Harris that only stays there at this time?
No, it was multiple children.
Okay, so it wasn't your grandmother with just you and your sister living there. Okay, so now this is where the bigger picture come into play here. So when you say multiple children, so this is where your auntie must live with her children.
And then she had 2 other children that she adopted.
Oh, so she had 7 children.
I mean, we had a household. There was a lot of us. And then my other auntie come over, which is her twin. She bring her kids over. Family.
Lord have mercy. All this in a 2-bedroom. Oh my God. So Annette adopted 2 more children and had her grandchildren, and then Shannon was over there with her bats, and then Marquetta, the twin, she'll come over there with her baby bats, girl, and then all of the bats will be hanging upside down. So and I'm a girl. So all this in a 2-bedroom with a basement. Oh my God. Ew. So Jarvis was just your turn. Wow. I want to talk to the other adopted kids. Did Jarvis ever do anything to y'all? Because, girl, 15 people in a 2-bedroom is outrageous. Oh, my goodness. I cannot. That is crazy.
With your auntie who lives in the residence, correct? Okay, so
it might be more because my auntie was living there, but she moved. She got her own house.
Okay, so the other twin was living there as well with her kids.
Her 2 kids. Now they have their own house.
Okay, so how many kids does that twin have?
2.
Okay, so now we're looking at 9, and then you 2, so that makes 11. 3 adults, 11 children. How many bedrooms is in this home?
It's at least about 5, 6. Nice little house.
Okay, so you just heard from Vari, who, of course, is NaZiyah Harris' older brother. He did clarify that him and NaZiyah, they share the same mother, but they do not share the same father. And that, unfortunately, his father is deceased and NaZiyah Harris' father is deceased, which there is an interview on my page, if you haven't listened to it, of NaZiyah Harris' father. Before he passed away, he had done that interview. Now, were any of you aware that his father, Vari, was also deceased? He also mentioned that he had an...
I don't. Var didn't sound too sure if that his father was deceased. It sounded like maybe, from like what he heard, not like I know for a fact, which is unfortunate. That's why I'm like, damn, do you like know who he is if you don't even know if he's deceased or not? Like, that's very sad. And with him saying that it is a 5-bedroom, think Shannon, Annette, and Marquetta have their own room, right? So technically, the house, if you count one, because one room would be considered like a living room, but it's not, because they turn into a bedroom. So it would be technically like maybe like a 3, type of situation. So with Shannon having her own room, Annette having her own room, and Marquetta staying there having her own room, then the kids share what's left. 2 bedrooms, and it's about 9 kids. So, again, now some of the kids are obviously going to be in their parents' room often, but overall, they're going to put, because adults need privacy, so they're going to put them in the rooms that are left open. So NaZiyah, all of them, they're all sharing. You got, it should be girls in one room, boys in the other, but I'm sure it was a mixture, is what it was giving. So that's why I said all of that in the 2-bedroom, because it's not like I lived there by herself and was raising kids. Because then they all would have basically either had their own rooms, or like it would have been 2 in one room, 3 in another room, and then, like it would have been kind of like that, which would have been fine, if they were all separated. Boys in their own rooms and girls in their own rooms. Like it's not that big a deal. Because that's what with CPS, you have to separate kids at a certain age in most states. So like they can't, saying the same part, we had to get a bigger place when we just had our first 2, my son and my daughter, because we had to separate them. And that's why I said thank God for their mom, because I didn't even know stuff like that. I didn't even know stuff like that. So I was concerned they could have, okay, I was young. So, but yeah, we had to separate them. She was just like, no, we got to separate them. They can't stay in the same room. So there were more children, and then it was fine. We had another daughter, and then we put that daughter in the room with her sister. My son always had his own room. And then, when we finally had a boy, we put the boy in the room. So, yeah, so it was boys with boys and the girls with girls. That's just how it was. So that's crazy. All of those churn in that house. So it would make sense in, why locks were on refrigerators and, stuff like that, because there's way too many children in the house. Way too many. And, kids, they just eat out of boredom. They just be bored and just like, what, I'm going to go eat something. And when you're not bringing in much revenue, into the food is something that's going to be scarce with all of these people. If you just time you look up somebody in and out of in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. So, but like the government was giving you stamps and stuff to take care of those children. So I still don't understand the locks on the refrigerator, even if you, because how can you have a personal refrigerator? Shannon, make that make sense. How can you have a personal refrigerator? Think about it. If you buying like steaks and stuff like that, and you don't want the kids to touch them, is the kid really gonna go in there and make a steak? What are you locking away from them? Like, that's why I don't understand. So say you do have things personally for you. Like, I could see you putting non-perishables or, like little and stuff that you buy for yourself. I can see you putting that in your bedroom, and whatnot, because, kids are sugar crazy. So, and when you buy something specifically for you, you should be able to eat it when you want to. You know how kids are. You set that out there in the kitchen and it just be gone. you finally go to get one and you pull the box down, it's empty. Because, kids is famous for leaving it there so you could think that it's still something in it and it ain't. So, yeah, so I could understand that, but you don't need a refrigerator for that. So again, anything that can be refrigerated, what are you locking it for? Well, like, do you just have like a refrigerator full of Hot Pockets? Like everything microwavable? Or like what? Because why would you lock up roast and a part of bag of chicken and, what are we locking that stuff up for? Like, is the kids going to come in here and turn on the fryer and start frying some chicken? What are we locking it for? They gonna come in here and make steaks and pork chops and, like, hello? Like, they're really gonna come in here and make that? They're gonna come in here and make filet mignon? Oh, they're not. So again, why are you locking it? That don't make any sense. Not at all. So I can understand a little private, little mini fridge, in your room with their selected drinks or snacks that need to be refrigerated. That you don't want nobody to. That's fine. That's personal. That ain't gonna, even if you had a lock on it in your room, okay, that's fine. But you got a whole lot. How do you think that looks to company? Like when company comes see that there's a locked refrigerator, it's like you can't clean that up. You can't make. Oh, that's just the personal refrigerator. No, girl, that's the refrigerator, is what that's giving. That's the refrigerator, not a refrigerator, because it's not like it's 2 refrigerators sitting right next to each other. Not at all. And that refrigerator was in the kitchen. So I'm like, can you have a personal refrigerator in the kitchen? What? All the refrigerators need to be locked, if you ask me. If there is multiple refrigerators in this home, they all locked. Correct. This is a ghetto soup kitchen. This is what that were. Because none of that makes sense. They were locked in the home, too. They weren't allowed to go anywhere. They felt like hermits, prisoners. And then you lock in refrigerators on top of that. That gives prison-like. It does. I would understand why he would want to leave. it makes sense. I'm like, okay, that's plausible. And he left because something happened to him. He could have just left just simply because it was just way too many kids, way too much going on. Feeling malnourished and whatnot, never really any food, or when you do want to eat, the refrigerator and stuff locked, you want to play sports and all of this stuff, you get a scholarship to play and you can't because you got to come home and babysit, all that. Because what the fuck are the adults doing that you got to babysit? Like, that's crazy.
Your sister, was she still living there when you left the home, when you went? Okay, so everybody still was living under there when you ran away. So what age were you when you ran away from the home?
I was small.
Because you're 18 now, so
15, 16.
15, 16, you never went back. Okay.
I stopped over there, check, I went over to check on my sister,
Mm-hmm.
be with my grandma. Other than that.
Just, so you can handle your grief a little better. I know you said that was your biggest mistake leaving. Most young boys, if nobody told you, they leave around that time. They leave the home. Every guy I've ever known that's almost African-American descent, if I can give a percentage, probably 85 to 90% leave their mother's home when they're around like 15, 16. So that's not out of the norm. However, everybody...
That is... I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My kid ain't going no goddamn where until they're at least 18. That's not normal. It shouldn't be normal. I feel like that mentally, I feel that's when kids, especially boys, start to leave the home. Like their minds be on other things. They growing up a little bit. They smelling themselves. They trying to get their little thing wet. All of that. So other thing, they're getting closer to adulthood. Them wanting their own decisions and do their own stuff. That completely makes sense. Yes, they get in mentally, they become grown already. They be 18, 19 in their head, 20, 22 in their head, but they really only like 14, 15, 16 years old. So, yeah, no, that's not normal. They shouldn't be going there because my kid ain't going nowhere. My daughter turned 15 next year. She ain't going nowhere. My son turned 15 or 16. He ain't going nowhere. Not at all. My 18-year-old still won't go nowhere. Like, he still won't go nowhere. He 18. He still don't want to go nowhere. No, not at all. My baby's not going nowhere. No, when you're 18, it's not too much I can tell you. I'm just there to guide after that. The raising is done. But, no. No. And I also don't feel like he should feel guilty for leaving. If you felt like that's what you had to do, that's what you had to do. And if you felt like your grandma was going to take care of your sister because that was her responsibility, you weren't responsible for her. Your kids yourself. So we can't expect you to, like you saying that you wish you would have never left, like that was your daughter. Like, she wasn't your daughter, she was your sister, And I felt like you left feeling like she was in okay hands, with your grandmother. When you fully know what's going on. I think he had an idea of what was going on, but I don't think like he knew what was happening. So I don't think that he should feel guilty about leaving or feel any responsibility to what happened to NaZiyah because it's not his fault. I get it as being an older brother wanting to protect her and feeling like, like I should have been there. I get that. But that's natural. But it's not his fault. He shouldn't feel any guilt. Again, you're young yourself. You just turned 18. That wasn't your responsibility. You just make sure you take care of your daughter, how you would have wanted somebody to take care of your sister. That responsibility, your daughter. So don't abandon her. Don't neglect her. Be there for her. As you see, your sister should be the prime example of what could happen if you're not there for your kid. So, learn from her father's mistakes and your mother's mistakes and, be better, be bigger, be better than they were, But yeah, I don't feel like I understand the natural guilt being an older brother. You feel like you're the protector, but you didn't do anything wrong. In that situation, if that living with your grandma wasn't working for you, then hey, you did what you had to do. You did what you had to do. I wish NaZiyah would have did the same thing and wouldn't stay with somebody else. I mean, at least 5.
Leave for different circumstances. Some may live with their father. Some may leave with a cousin that let them do or an older brother. So
please hit the like. Please hit the like. Please hit the like. This is Shanitra Speaks, okay? Please subscribe to Shanitra Speaks, okay? She's on all platforms, YouTube, TikTok, everywhere. She's great. I love her. Make sure you guys sub to my girl.
You left. Where did you go?
I went to go stay with a friend of mine.
Ooh, not a friend.
Okay, so you still with a friend of yours. Now, was they parents more lenient? Is that why you kind of went?
Yeah, they would. Yeah, she was like more like caring. Like she was
Nurturing and stuff, what you needed.
But you said you had a good grandmama. But you said your grandmama was good. Why she ain't? Your grandmama was supposed to be all that stuff. She was getting a check for it.
It was good. Went to school. Everything.
Okay, so
I ain't had no problems there.
okay, so you had more like love and attention from there. So that's basically what you was running away from.
And a lot of respect too.
Okay.
You know, everything I said, you know, they just say, and they, you know, they with
So
me.
basically, he was loved, unlike NaZiyah. NaZiyah wasn't loved. When he wouldn't stay with his friends and whatnot, it's the same thing. Like, I gotta say, I mean, hell, I can even use this as an example. My daughter's best friend, she went through a lot of stuff with her family, and I don't feel like it's for me to say exactly what she went through with her family. One thing about her, when she comes around us, she always, feels like we are parents, like myself and my kid's mother, because we take care of her, we protect her. Whatever we do with our kids, she do too. We go bowling with our kids, she right there bowling with us. We go out to eat, she right there eating with us. We go hang out, she right there hanging out with us. We actually took care of her, we respected her, we cared about her being out in the streets and stuff like that. We didn't just let her do this and that, not like, yeah, we don't do all that. But here, this is how things are done. And at first, I think she looked at it as us trying to like control her. But then she looked around and realized that, you know what? I need this. This is what I've been lacking. People taking care of me and caring about the stuff that I do. Like, even when she'll talk to boys, I'll be like, he ain't no boy coming over here. Y'all can talk on the phone, that's fine, but that's as far as it's going. Like, yeah, we don't do that. And you ain't going nowhere. Like, you're not sneaking out to go see anybody. If y'all want to go hang out tomorrow at like a park or go to the live, something like that, and chill and hang out with the boys, because that's a healthy relationship with men you need to have. Being at a dude's beck and call, he call you and tell you to come meet up. Who the fuck is he that you need to leave? What he about to pay some bills when you get there? He got some clothes and stuff for you, some food, a warm place for you to stay, not a place for you to lay down and smash, because when you get up, you gotta go. Hello? I'm like, yeah, we don't do that. Not at all. They come to us. We don't come to them. Okay? Now he can meet you tomorrow at like the mall if y'all want to go walk around the mall and talk and hold hands and kiss and all this stuff. That's fine. Like, but you're gonna have a healthy relationship over here. If you do get pregnant or anything like that, contracting STDs, you're going to do that on your own time. But you're not going to do that with me. I'm going to prevent having to take you back and forth to hospitals, shots, and all of that stuff, a pregnancy test. And yeah, we ain't doing none of that. Okay? But she realized that that's what she was missing. And she came to grow to love us for it. And any chance to be around us, she takes it. She loves being around us, not because we're actually a real family. And that's what she's been lacking. We respect her. We love on her. We encourage her, because that's what we're supposed to do. Parents do. So it's a shame that it took him to leave the household to get that and not get that naturally. So if he's stating that he had to go to basically strangers, his friends, family, to feel loved, honored, and respected, like he matter, and is giving the opportunity to actually be a teenager and hang out and, whatnot, and I had to babysit all day and all of that stuff. You can see what NaZiyah was going through. You can see that she was not loved. The ball was dropped. Nobody considered her. She was looked at more so as a staff, in the house. And like, that's sad. It's very, very sad that's he's explaining the same upbringing that she was having. So I feel like through him, he's speaking and a lot of things that NaZiyah will probably be saying herself, if she could. So I think this is important because we're hearing about the actual lifestyle that they had. And did he finish high school? I do not believe so. I have a child now, a little girl, I believe. So I am not sure of him finishing high school.
Okay.
And they ain't just good, just sit there and
Please hit the like, please hit the like.
Okay. So back to your grandmother's house. So when you're living there, did you ever see Jarvis there ever?
I seen him a couple times. Like usually when he'd come to, visit his kids. He'd come to see his kids. I ain't seen nothing other than that.
Did he ever spend a night?
No. Not that I know of. I ain't never seen him. Like, I don't think my grandma played it. No grown man, you know, spend the night in the house.
Yeah, because I know your grandma said, like, no, he didn't really come in, he did spend a night.
No, she didn't. Like, she didn't have him, like, fix stuff, like, you know. I remember the time, you know, that she had replaced the toilet. She had him put the toilet in, fix some doors, you know, stuff that needed to be fixed around the house, you know, yeah. You know.
But when the text messages was released,
yeah,
it was your sister stating
that your grandmother is a goddamn liar. That your grandmammy is a goddamn liar. And like you said, you didn't know. So he not saying, oh no, absolutely not. No, your grandmammy lied. That's it. That's all you found out. Okay? And you were younger. You know, you were a lot younger. So there were plenty of things that you weren't paying attention to. And I'm sure the house was loud, all those kids being there and whatnot. And then to add double injury, remember, NaZiyah and Shannon were pregnant at the same time. They both lived at Annette's house. Okay? And they're both pregnant at the same time. And now again, Navir or him, he go sorry, because his name. He's going to be looked at as more so of a protector. So Jarvis, being a partner, is going to avoid him and avoid letting him see anything because he's a male. You know, predators are scared of males. They're not scared of women. They're scared of males, right? So I believe that one of another reasons probably didn't want to be there is because of Jarvis. You know, and how those women reacted and responded to him. And Jarvis needed to get him out of the way. The predator always gets rid of the protectors because that's when everyone is left vulnerable. It's no different than animals when they are eating, when they go to feed, when they go out there, like when lions go out there. A lion will run up on a baby elephant. But if its parents is right next to it, it's a high probability that lion ain't going to touch it because they usually go after young when they are hunting because they're easier to get. They're not as agile. They're slower. They're just getting, you know, that their favorite is ones that are just born, like calves and some antelope and, you know, things that are just born. They'll go after them immediately. They'll go after the young because their defenses are down. But if a baby elephant is just like traveling like by itself or away from its parents, then yes, the lions will attack it. But mom and daddy right there, oh no. Oh no. No, they're not. They catch it alone or in a vulnerable state, you know. So that's the same thing that Jarvis did. Jarvis had to push certain energy towards the male so that he could render the women defenseless, so that he is, you know, the leader of the pride, you know, because with prides, there's only one male, and if there are other males, they are related to the king, if you will, the head lion, the man. Because he usually facilitates all of the pregnancies in the pride. He has babies by all of the women, the lioness, you know, and whatnot, just one, you know, and that's definitely giving this. And they also shoot the other, like the male lions, the kings, they usually shoo the sons away as soon as they get to the point of being able to hunt on their own. So as soon as they're able to hunt, they gotta go. They gotta go find their own pride. They gotta go, you know, mate with their, you know, yeah, they gotta go. They can't stay. Move around. And the father will even attack the lions, even kill the sons if they have to. And then women have babies from another pride, from a lion from a pride. That lion will usually end those cubs' lives. Like he'll take their lives, you know, because they're not his. And they know their own. The smell, the scent, they know when children belong to them. So, and when they don't, they get rid of them. So this is just like that. It's very animalistic, if you will. So again, both of them, Shannon and NaZiyah, were both pregnant by Jarvis at the same time. So it had to have been happening at Annette's home because that's where NaZiyah spent all of her time. So if she got pregnant, wherever she ever got pregnant, besides the shop or the home, if Annette has such a tight leash on NaZiyah, so that she didn't let them really go nowhere. They felt like imprisoned, felt like they were in prison. So that's how I feel like Jarvis is, you know, very like an animal, is what he is, impregnating all of the women in the home, you know, and all of that, being the only male dominance, to where I feel like Annette wasn't dating or Annette wasn't seeing anybody because Jarvis was who she was seeing. Why would she see another man when she's sleeping with Jarvis? And we may not be able to wrap our head around making that normal and making that okay, but they did. Because allegedly the same person that got Annette pregnant, which would have been her brother, was the same one that allegedly got the sister, got Lady pregnant too. Please hit the
upstairs
like.
in the room, so that indicated to the public that this man had to been staying there based on the times. I don't know if your auntie was like sneaking him in, because most, I grew up with 4 sisters.
She didn't have to sneak him in.
Me hearing this situation, hearing the messages, he grew there.
Yes.
And it ain't even just like now. It just, you feel me? It was you feel me, a couple years later.
Since she was 2.
Yes.
And it was fresh to me. So when I heard it, it was like, it broke me. I'm like, dang, this deep, this big. It's bigger than ever. But like me feeling like that towards like my sister, like, dang, it's just like, I wish she would have came to me, you feel me? But she probably knew how I was gonna react, I probably would have,
But it seemed like what you ran to, that's what she was looking for. When you said you ran away to this other home, you was getting love, attention, caring, it was respect, it was people listening to you, you had someone to talk to, versus her. She must have lacked what you lacked. Because it seemed like she was trying to get it from him. Because not all of the texts were sexual, saying, I want you to love me, I don't want to lose you. Like she was running looking for love, and unfortunately she found it from somebody that was a pedophile monster, basically.
Yeah, but she dang, it's crazy. She came to me and she was like, she had talked to me times and times, like we'd be in school and stuff. She liked when somebody, you feel me? I always sort of like let me know, like, that's just a girl.
Yeah.
All in the business. She told me, she had a couple boys that she dated, which is her age. You feel me? That was in her grade, and she knew them since they were like little. So it's like.
So you only knew of child boyfriends, puppy love. You never knew it was serious. You never knew your sister was having.
Yeah, I agree. When Ari says maybe you're too young to know how you were supposed to protect her, I do feel the same way. I do think he was way too young to even be paying attention to what was going on. And NaZiyah is the perfect example of how you can have a whole bunch of people around you and still feel alone. Primal. If when people are saying that NaZiyah was looking for love, if you come home and people don't say much to you, that they're not asking you how your day was, asking you how you are, wanting to hang out with you, even just sit around and watch movies or, just TV and conversation, then you can feel alone. You can feel by yourself. And that is very depressing to do the same thing over and over and over and over again. Your day, you get up, you go to school. As soon as you get out of school, you are stuck here babysitting after people that you should necessarily be having to look after and stuff like that, just to go to sleep, wake up, and repeat cycle. That can be very depressing. It's like an adult in their actuality when, you get up, whether you got children or not, you working, you cook, you clean, you go to sleep, and you repeat cycle. That can become very depressing when there is nothing spontaneous about your life. Jarvis was spontaneous. Jarvis linked her into thinking that this is what she had been longing for. That's how he was able to trick her into thinking that he was loving her. He's never loved NaZiyah at all. She was a sexual prop. She was an object to him. But he convinced her that he cared about her when he was doing the things that he was doing to her. So she didn't view them as abuse. She viewed it as love because she didn't have any other examples. That is why the young lady that he tried to violate in the room with NaZiyah today, she said no, because she has felt a different love. She has been loved. She is loved. So she don't need that from you. Like, no, you can't trick me into doing anything. The body alone tells you when something is right and when something is wrong. So when he would be asking NaZiyah to send him pictures and stuff like that, when NaZiyah would say no, or that she didn't feel like taking off her clothes, that was her body alarming her, like, hey, this isn't right. What he's doing is not good. No, you don't take your clothes off, whatnot. But that's just her conscience. Our conscience all speaks to us. It speaks volumes. A lot of times we just ignore it. So, and then there's sometimes when your conscious loud in your brain to where you cannot ignore it. So that's when we make those decisions. When we have those split, just a second decision moments to where a person to be like, oh, I'm coming to pick you up. We about to go do dot, dot, dot. And then you'll go outside to go get in the car. And it's something like, yeah, don't go, or whatnot. That's when you have to sometimes go with that gut feeling and just not ignore it. And sometimes it can hurt. Like that gut feeling is so strong to where you feel like you're sick or something is happening or you're just very anxious or something. That is usually when something's telling you no, like no, something is about to happen or something already going on and your body is trying to alert you of it. Like the connection that parents have with their children. When you are so used to your children doing certain things and having a routine is broken at all, your gut starts to bother you immediately and tell you like, hey, something isn't right. And we can't put our finger on it, but we get that call. We do. We get that call. And then all of a sudden, it's like, okay, that's explained. Now that feeling that you had, it goes away because now you know what your body was anticipating. So, yeah, I think that we all have that trait. We just don't follow it, at all times. And it's easy to follow it when you have somebody explaining to you things that should be going on and things that shouldn't. So you can read that gut feeling instead of ignoring it. And unfortunately, Naziyah didn't have that. So, yeah, you could call it intuition, or you can call it God. You could call it, a lot of things. You can call it the universe. You can call it being raised properly. You can call it a lot of things. You absolutely can.
Sex, being molested, even, did you know she was pregnant?
Oh, that's what everybody keep asking me. Like, do you know your sister was pregnant? No, I didn't. Mm-hmm. When I looked inside the TikTok video, because somebody sent it to me. They said, go look at your sister's last TikTok video she made. I went to go look at it, and I didn't really see none of it. Like, because she had a coat on.
Yeah.
So when I looked at her face was puffy.
Like pie face.
So I was thinking about, it took me back to where I had my daughter. Yes. And my baby mama was pregnant with my daughter. Mm-hmm. Her face was puffy.
Lord.
So it was like, you know what I'm saying? Did I want to believe?
See, your baby mama face was puffy because your baby mama was eating properly. Your baby mama went to the doctor and got prenatal vitamins. Your baby mama did all the stuff that she's supposed to do. Naziyah, I don't feel like Naziyah was having a healthy pregnancy because she never even got to check on her baby. She never had an ultrasound, nothing to even determine if her was okay. Like her baby could have been deceased out of her and she had no idea. We don't know. I'm not saying that it was, but I'm just saying, like, without having the proper care and without the proper precautions when you are pregnant, prenatal vitamins, eating properly or just eating well. And it's locks on the refrigerator and all of that girl wasn't eating properly. So again, if your baby mama face was puffing up and stuff like that, that's because she eating well. When she was having, her cravings and stuff like that, now she was eating. That's what that were. There wasn't no locks on the refrigerator and stuff like that. Like the woman's face is not just going to get puffy and swollen and when not just she's pregnant. It's usually because the diet changes, the food intake, all that stuff changes because you're not just eating for yourself anymore. There's plenty of times when women are pregnant, they're not hungry at all. It's just the thing that they did eat, the baby done already absorbed that. It's time for them to eat again because, they're not eating for themselves anymore. That umbilical cord that is attached to the baby, the mother is feeding it, the nutrients and all of that stuff that they're eating is coming from the food that they are consuming. So if Naziyah is not eating properly, if she's falling on the ground and stuff at school, all type of stuff, of course her pregnancy is not going to be a normal pregnancy. And then again, Naziyah is very young. She's a 13-year-old. So most people would ignore her pregnancy. They would ignore out of the fact of you don't want her to be. When you don't want something, you will avoid it, right? Just how Shannon and Annette sat there allowing Jarvis to do what he was doing to her, but acting like it wasn't happening. It's the same thing. People see Naziyah and know that something is definitely off, but can't exactly put their finger on it. And with her being 13, that's the last thing a person is going to want to think is that she is pregnant. The last. So it's easier to avoid it. And it's easier to ignore it when you are in disbelief, when you don't want to accept it, when you're being delusional about it, because most people would be in denial about that instantly, like, shame. Your mind will instantly deny it. If she walked past you and just like, is she? Then you be like, she 13. She's no, she ain't. Literally. So with the people that aren't around her on a consistent basis, but it wasn't a person living in Annette's home, including all the way down to the children, that didn't know I was pregnant. Everybody knew. Everyone knew. For NaZiyah not to go anywhere and was always caged like an animal, Annette knew she was pregnant, and Shannon knew she was pregnant. They knew that that girl was pregnant. There's no way Jarvis knew she was pregnant, and they didn't. They knew. Cut it out. Stop it. Then Shannon wants to admit to buying pregnancy tests at the same time. NaZiyah was buying her pregnancy test as well. They was pregnant basically at the same time. Oh, girl.
I didn't want to believe it, but her face was getting puffy, so I could believe that she was pregnant. And it was in the messages too, and then pregnancy tests and stuff. So it's just crazy. This whole situation is crazy.
Yeah,
Well,
so
it wasn't just that. They said Shannon neglected NaZiyah's parental care. They felt salty about her pregnancy. It's not just that. If NaZiyah pregnant and about to have a baby, who gonna watch ours? Mm, mm. If NaZiyah about to be a mother, who gonna mother our children?
kind of like, are you in shock, you would say?
Yeah, I say I'm hurt, but it's like I just wish everything. I just wish my auntie never messed with him. Everybody. I mean, she grown, talk to what she talked to, but you should know. You should before you even talk to a person. You should know them. You should know what they got going on, who that person is.
Was somebody giving her Plan B? Yes, I believe Jarvis was giving NaZiyah Plan B since she was 11. I think NaZiyah was pregnant at least like 2-3 times. I don't think that it just happened one time. Because there were conversations to where she was like 11 or 12 years old. I think she was like 11. Yeah, she was like 11. Of her stating that he had bought her Plan B pills, and he had said that he was going to buy her some more. So that sounds like, she had successfully gotten rid of that first pregnancy with the Plan B pills, and then he tried to do it again. And I don't think that. Yeah. So yes, I this was not NaZiyah's first pregnancy, and it also shows that NaZiyah. Why I always said that NaZiyah wanted to be a mom, because she was very nurturing. She was. She was always babysitting. She always had a baby child around her, and whatnot. So, I think they trusted her to babysit because she did a good job doing it. You're not going to give somebody a responsibility that they don't handle well, that they don't do well. So I think NaZiyah is a great babysitter. I think that she did a good job, and I think that that's another reason why they didn't want her having a baby, because she was the one that had more structure over the children than even they did.
And what that person is capable of, and that's just real with anyone like that come around.
Yes, because I saw your auntie state, out her own mouth, say, yes, he told me that he went to jail before for being a child molester. But she said, I gave him a chance because society gave him a chance and I was 19.
Idiot.
So what do you got to say about that?
I feel like she should let him alone, I can't see, just being with a pedophile, It's crazy.
So the thing is, for me, to your auntie, society doesn't have to house. He doesn't have to live with them. He doesn't have to be around their kids. The judge don't know Jarvis. It's not living with Jarvis.
Iris says, I can believe she was looking for a love outlet from this unborn child to care for. I think it goes one or two ways when your parent isn't in your life. When NaZiyah not having her mother in her life, I think it goes one or two ways. You're either a phenomenal parent because your parent wasn't there for you, or you go the other way. You go the other way. You become just like them because that's all you know. My mom wasn't there for me, so, I can't be there for you. I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to raise a kid. Like, I don't know how to be a mom. I don't want to be a mom. But not because, they didn't have one themselves. So I think NaZiyah would have went the route of being a phenomenal parent. I think she would have been a really good mom because she wanted love herself. And who better if you can't... It reminds me of... Y'all remember the Women of Brewster's Place? Women, I believe what it was called. when Brewster's Place. There was a character on there, the beautiful black woman, I forgot her name, but she was on a lot of stuff, A Different World, all type of stuff. But she was the one that kept having kids, right? And her kids was bad as hell. She kept having children. And she said that she kept, while they're babies, they're so sweet, they love you, they need you. And then, grow, they get to the point to where they basically become like demons, and whatnot. So that let me know about that character is that like she said, she was always little. She always had a Barbie doll. She always wanted to be a mom. You could tell, Florida Divine, that, she had the love in her to be a parent. It just wasn't necessarily given to her, and that's why she loved having babies, because they were so sweet. They needed her and they just loved her no matter what. Like, they didn't judge her, none of those things. And I feel like that's kind of how, like, that gave me the NaZiyah feeling. I feel like NaZiyah was the same way. It's not that the woman didn't know how to be a mom. She just didn't know how to be a mom to anything other than a baby. An infant. It's like when it came to the infant, she always had, she always had the baby in her arms. She was always, loving on the baby, whatnot. But her other kids, it's like they eat out the garbage and all of that stuff, because she didn't know anything beyond a baby. She didn't know anything beyond that, But she kept having kids. She kept having, because she loved when they was babies. But when they got beyond that, it's like she didn't know what to do. NaZiyah would have had that problem because she had been raising so many, other people's kids, like Shannon kids, and she had been looking out for them. So she had a better idea of it. So I think that she knew how to love her baby, and she would have loved her child. She wouldn't have did what her mom did. I think she would have went the opposite route. I think she would love that baby to eternity. Like, she would have been a great mom. I do. I think she would have loved that baby and took very good care of it, but it would have took her attention off of raising the other kids and babysitting the other kids, having her own infant. So it was multiple reasons they wanted that baby gone.
Paperwork,
Yeah, so he's released until the world, society doesn't have to house him.
Yeah, and this whole situation, I just wish, I just wish I was there for my little a little bit more than I was.
Oh.
Don't get me wrong, I was there for my little sister just to clear everything up,
Mm-hmm.
and my little cousin, my cousin, nobody knew about none of this. Like, I know my auntie, she was, putting out reports and stuff, but I ain't never know what the reports and stuff was about, because, I was little. I didn't really pay too much attention to that stuff.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. Did any of y'all knew before she passed that he was convicted pedophile before all of this?
No, I did. If I would have known, I would have, I feel like I would have took myself.
I believe him. I believe that. Why would they? They were kids. He just turned 18. So I believe him. I have no reason to say that he's not telling the truth. Most adults don't tell kids stuff like that. A lot of kids wouldn't even necessarily even know how to interpret it if they tell them. I mean, that's something you have to literally sit down and explain to them. So yeah, I believe him. I don't think that they said that, hey, he's in a vial and all. I don't believe that. I don't think that Shannon or his grandma, I don't think anybody told him that. I think they all knew, he just didn't.
Just with me, if I would have known, when he was coming around, and then the kids being there, it's a lot of females in our family, so the kids, and then, the little boys and stuff, that's not cool. I took my sister with me, and I would have, try to connect with my auntie and see,
I do believe he thinks that his sister was good. That's why he left her there. I don't think if he knew that stuff was going on, I do feel like he would have reacted differently. I do. I don't think you can't respond to something you don't know. You can't react to something you don't know. So if you feel like everything is fine and how about her, she's good, she's eating, she this, she that, she a female, a whole bunch of females here, whatnot. You feel like she's safe. Hey, yeah. So I agree. I don't think that he knew that Jarvis was doing anything to her. And in those CPS reports, I don't feel like they were being explained to younger people in the family. I don't think the aunts was calling, him and his other cousins like, hey, we just filed these reports. He allegedly over there doing ... But the people that needed to know did. And it's Annette. Annette would have been contacted about NaZiyah, and she was. CPS came out to the home. They did a welfare check. And Annette made them feel that nothing happened to NaZiyah. That nothing happened to her, that it was a lie, all of that. Yes, because CPS did visit after those reports. They absolutely did.
Cause she come with me.
Because I also stated that his fiance that was on the stand, she said that Jarvis was very good with her kid and would take her kid to his shop. So did you ever go up to his shop? Did he ever teach you how to change oil, tires, anything?
I did go up there like during the summer, like one time. But I went up there with it one time, you know, because I used to go walk to football practice and stuff like that, basketball practice and stuff. Because I used to play for my school. They got all types of men working there, and I did my research, and some of the men that was working at his, you know, oil shop, they had the same background as him.
I found that out as well, that a lot of them, because that's usually work they keep.
Yes, the 30-year-old woman allegedly had a baby with Jarvis when he was 13, and how people found out is because he was bragging about it. So it sounds like it was the best day of his life.
Sometimes work for themselves. So usually these independent contractors or, you know, mechanics or, you know, I'm not trying to put the label on all of them. Most people that work for themselves is because they may be a convicted felon.
Okay, so you from Vari, who of course is NaZiyah Harris' older brother. He did clarify that him and NaZiyah, they share the same mother, but they do not share the same father. And that unfortunately, you know, his father is deceased, and Harris' father is deceased, which there is an interview on my page, if you haven't listened, of NaZiyah Harris, you know, father, before he passed away, he had done that interview. Now, were any of you aware that his father, Vari's father, was also deceased? He also mentioned,
were y'all aware that a lady is a stud? Look at NaZiyah mama. Look. 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 That's her. Correct. Correct. She failed at being hetero. So I guess, you know. I guess she wanted to be a bodega dyke for a while. I don't know, a dyke on a bike. So yeah. Correct. Correct. You see the crack in the eyes. That's just what that word. No, no. That's lady. That is NaZiyah's mom. Correct. Yes. Yes. And Navari. This is mom. Correct. Yeah, that's not on yoga. That's not on yoga. Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. That's not on yoga. That's not on yoga. That's not on yoga. Not at all. That is NaZiyah's mother. Lady. Crazy, right? Insane. Okay. So I love you guys. I'm gonna cut it here. We'll finish the rest of the live. I'm gonna play another video too, of some other tea that I've seen on the situation. Again, the next court date is March 7th next month. So we will be watching and hearing everything about that. I'm gonna try to go. Don't hold me because we're moving right now. We're moving the studio. I'm in the process of doing that. Very stressful. And then I have 2 birthdays. My daughter's birthday is in April, and my son's birthday is in May. So that's all after. So I'm thinking like, well, maybe I should go do that, go down there and go to the court date, and then, because it's not far, it's Detroit, that's in the Midwest, so I'm West too. So rather I flew or drove. I'd rather fly just because it's like fast, just kind of like get in and out. But I am thinking about going to the court date, March 7th. I will fill y'all in on that and let you guys know. But I do want to go. If I don't go to the court date, I am definitely going to when they make the decision. That is definitely happening. When the trial ends, that I am definitely there. When they sentence, I am there. Okay? So, yeah, there. When that happens, but yeah. So I love you guys. I will see y'all, and then thank y'all so much for being here. Again, go shout out to SeanDavieWay Speaks. Make sure y'all get over there and subscribe to SeanDavieWay Speaks. Let her know that SeanDavieWay sent you, and we love you guys. Are you still gonna Diddy? Yeah. I mean, I guess. I'm honestly like sick of Diddy. But I'll do it for you guys because you know I love you guys. So I'll do it for y'all. But I am so over Diddy. But yeah, I mean, until at least May, to because we are still going to his first trial. That we are definitely there. Okay, we're definitely going to New York. Okay, so that's really like when I want to rev it back up and get to talk about it. But yeah, I'm definitely exhausted with Diddy, but I do it for you guys because I love you. I love you guys. But yes, we will cover that as well. Yeah, I will see y'all in the next live. Until then, bye.